Hello, everyone. Two quick things before we jump into this episode. Number one, other brother Derryl and I recorded this episode last year in 2025, right after Halo Championship Series. And life started lifing, and we did not get a chance to edit this episode until June. So here we are. So if some things sound kind of dated or uninformed, is because some things happened between the time we recorded this episode and the time you actually hear it. Number two, if you are not familiar with the Halo universe, you may want to watch this instead of listening to it, and watch it on our YouTube channel, The Janice Key Project, or go to thejanicekeyproject.com and go to the podcast link and watch the video there. So that's all the announcements we have for today. And without any further ado, let's jump right into this episode.
It's October 25th. It's October 2025. 343 Industries announces a remastered Halo CE releasing in 2026. You are the head of Mattel Brick Shop / Mega Halo's division. The Mattel executives tell you they want 10 Halo sets released over the next 3 years. What 10 sets are you going to release? Why those sets? And how are you going to release them? Before you create your list, 1, I recommend taking a Halo CE refresher course by watching / reading Halo the Flood, that's the book, Halo Combat Evolved, playthrough on YouTube, and a playthrough of Halo Fireteam Raven. Okay, because all those are dealing with the same moment in time as far as Halo is going, and all those take place at the same time. Okay, number 2, when making your decisions, consider the following things. First off, profitability. How many can we sell? Second off, or whatever. When was the last time Mega released this figure, vehicle, or set? And lastly, can fans customize these figures, vehicles, or sets? All right, that was our mission. Okay, so I have my 10. Derryl has his 10. You're the guest. Do you want to go first, or will you defer to me?
I will defer to you.
Chicken. Chicken out on me. All right. So here's my list. First of all, and I messed up. I did not do this in any particular order, but I'm going to go with the list.
Just give me one.
The first one. Well, the first two kind of go together. Okay. And that is, I would do a Warthog with a Master Chief, 1 Marine, an Elite, and a Grunt. Number 2, I would do a Pelican, but the Pelican has to have a way to connect the Warthog to the Pelican. And the figures I would include with the Pelican would be Foehammer, a co-pilot, and 2 Marines. And my whole thing is we want an army build, so that's why you're going to have a lot of Marines, Elites, and Grunts on all my sets.
Okay, your first two are just like my first two, really.
Okay.
Except for I went a little bit more detail. See, I looked at it more like, what would I do? Not necessarily sets, but what would I do? And when I look at, I think the biggest thing for me is if I'm taking it over and we're doing a reboot, because this is definitely a reboot because they are stepping away from Mega, if Mattel Brick Shop is doing this, then I want to change the sizes of my elites.
Okay.
I need sizes a little bit better, not necessarily to scale, because that's going to be kind of ugly. But I don't care if you say elites. I don't care if you later on say brutes. I don't care if you later on say, hunters. I need better sizes than what they are. That's one of the first things that I would do.
Right.
I would have to change the size of the elites.
I agree with you 100%. And actually, we're going to come back to that to another episode. I want to talk about that more, but I actually think they should, if they could keep the figures, keep the articulation the same, I would actually make your normal human people like Marines, ODSTs, and just regular humans the size of the old articulation figures.
Yes.
Make your Spartans the size of the I just went so blank.
Of the Call of Duty figures.
Yeah, Call of Duty
those
figures.
legs.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I'll make them that make your Spartans that tall, because now you have a clear difference in the height between Spartans.
It's not tremendous,
and
but it's enough.
Right, exactly. And again, like you said, you don't want it to be to scale, because that gets real ugly real quick.
Real quick. Then you're changing everything, including vehicles.
Right. And then, like you said, make your elites a little bigger, make your brutes later on bigger and bulkier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, okay, so that's your 1 and 2. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about your 3?
Well, see, now my 3 is a 4-pack of Marines.
Okay.
Male and female. I didn't want to do just, like the Marine squad that they had before.
You mean the one they did when they had a Spartan and 5 Marines?
Right.
I think it was. Yeah. Okay.
Right. I didn't want to do necessarily that, but I want actually Halo CE Marines.
Right.
And I didn't know if I don't want to put any kind of leader in the group, because then it's hard to army build, because then you have a bunch of the same name character or leader sitting up there with 4 Marines. You say, okay, I want 16 Marines, but then you've got 4 of this guy.
Yeah, unless your leader is unnamed and he blends in well with the other ones or something.
Yeah, but you're going to make him look a little different just because he's a leader. So you're still going to have 4.
Same problem.
Of that, still going to be the same problem.
Okay.
So I want a pack of Marines so that we can army build.
Okay. I like that. I did not include that on my list, but it was, I guess, if I had to make an honorable mention, it would be there.
Okay.
So my number 3 is, I would do an alpha base, and this is going to be a huge set because it's going to have a command center, some type of watchtower, a gun emplacement, and my figures, I would have a Major Silva. And if you don't know who Major Silva is, you have to see the Fireteam Raven game. 1 elite, 1 grunt, and a lieutenant. And I put McVeigh down here, but that is not her name, and I can't think of her name right now. But anyway, those 4 figures. And if I wanted included another one, it would be an ODS or just a regular ODST figure.
Okay.
And,
I like that.
Okay.
How big is that going to be, though?
So,
and when you think about how likely is it that it could happen, what are you talking about for a price point?
Well, okay, so I didn't go that deep into it. I thought about it, but I was just making, hey, if this is my dream set, this is what I'm going to make. And as far as piece counts go, I'm not sure how you could make this. Well,
I mean, are you talking something along the signs of like a signature series set or
something like that? But see, there's several ways you could go about this, because you could make it a signature series size set, but at the same time, you could go in and use a lot of big pieces, kind of like they did with the. I mean, they should give those. Oh my goodness! Twice in this episode, I'm going blank. I'm just getting started. They gave us those huge Forerunner ring sets.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm looking around in my office for one right now. Hang on a second. Oh yeah, hang on a second. Here. Yep, hang on, Derryl.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Let me get back
See,
to the
you
mic.
just took mine, but go ahead. That's what I figured you were gonna say.
Well,
That's why I didn't say it. I just sat there quiet.
Yeah, it was gonna be a battlescape, and you could use big pieces like that, and then supplement it, add to it with a lot of bricks. So I don't know, but I want alpha base.
And I was thinking when you said alpha base that you were talking more like actual just building a base, because my next one was actually a battlescape with actually my figures to be with mine would be Fireteam Raven, because there's so many people who did not get Raven total when they were trying to collect them with Halo Heroes.
Yeah.
But if this is going to be a reboot, let's start by making sure that people have a better opportunity of getting things so that you don't run into another Falcon sweep or Alpha 9 drop pod situation. So I would have a battlescape where you would actually get trees. Who knew?
Yeah.
And I'm talking to trees that were in that pine tree that they did that was in that helmet.
Yep.
One of the last helmets that they did. That is one of the nicer trees I've seen.
It is.
And so 2 or 3 of those trees, maybe 4, to put into a battlescape with Fireteam Raven. But I'd want a scene more like something that you would see when you were playing with Raven in the game. And that would be my battlescape. I was thinking then, when you were talking about doing the base, then you could connect the base to the battlescape.
Okay, yeah.
Because I also have as another one of mine is that I wanted a base, but I wanted my base to have, and I'd have to really study it, but I'd want it to have where you could build the base, but you know how they had with a couple of things, which was kind of cool but kind of stupid too, where they had it so that you, for instance, the mech suit that they had for the Banish, and then you go online to their site and then you can get the alternate build off of, but you can only do it if you used a tablet. I didn't understand that part. Should have been just for anybody.
Yeah.
But I would want off of what was built that there'd be enough extra pieces that there were 2 other alternate builds, so that honestly it would drive people to buy 3, so they could build all 3 things and attach it to. So you could actually have a bigger base, or you could have the small base. It's up to you.
Yeah, I see what you're
according to you, your size, of room, the amount of space you have, the amount of money you have, what have you. But it would easily drive people to buy as much as they can so that they can build more. I personally think that if you were just targeting children, it's fine to just have vehicles and figures, because they're going to play in their floor and everything else. But this is more of an adult collector series, more than anything else.
Right.
So for people to have big dioramas or mocks or what have you, they need bricks. And I've said that for I don't know how long. They have to have bricks. And I know that a lot of people don't like the fact that I buy Legos. But if I don't, I couldn't build anything. I couldn't have a new Mombasa in any way, shape, or form. So if they did the base, I'd like there to be 3 different variations that can all attach to each other so that people will buy more, so that you have more product moving. And at the same time, you can make it as big or little or as varied and changed to whatever you want as you want. But then I'd also want it to attach to the battlescape that I wanted with Fireteam Raven.
Right. Okay. That's cool. I got you, big dog.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that was, how many is that for you?
5.
5.
I believe.
Okay. So my next 2, so I can catch up with you. The next one will be a Wraith tank with 1 elite and 2 grunts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. I cannot tell you the last time we got a Wraith tank. You have to go back a little ways. Because we did not get one during Halo Infinite.
You didn't get one in Halo Wars 2.
So I mean, it's been a very long while since we've had a Wraith tank. And then my number 5. Okay, so this is another thing that when you really think about it, it's kind of crazy we haven't had more of these. But a Forerunner structure. And I would have Guilty Spark. And this is a Flood set here. Okay, so I have Guilty Spark. I'd have 1 Flood Juggernaut, because we've never gotten a Juggernaut. 2 Flood Tank forms, 1 Carrier form, 5 Infection forms, the little popcorn creatures, and then 1 Master Chief with Flood Splatter on
them. I like it.
So
I like it.
And that's a lot of Flood figures, but when you think about it, that's a big part of the story when they went into the Forerunner structure, where the battle, was him fighting the Flood, and I think that's a good opportunity for us to get more Flood figures, and especially get that Flood Juggernaut, because it's hard to believe we haven't gotten one of those, but we haven't.
Yeah, and I wish I would have thought about Juggernaut myself, because that is a great pick, and I've been begging for it. And I don't know why that didn't come across my mind. I did have for my next set small build to be somewhat indoors with Flood, and mine was Flood and then Marines, and a Master Chief like the one that came in that Traxxas Tower or whatever they call it, Flood Firefight or whatever. So I wanted him with the splatter, but I wanted Marines, and I wanted so I kind of went nuts. I said I wanted 20 popcorn because they're all over the place.
They are.
And then I wanted 5 Marines, and 2 of them to be now. And this is one of the things that you actually see. You saw wounded Marines in different spots. I wanted a couple wounded Marines, and then I wanted 3 infected Marines. And then I just thought, and then a lot of popcorn. And you can kind of set a stage where you have Marines that not just battle damaged in their armor, but maybe I had with a head wrap, like you saw in the one when Master Chief landed, and they kind of were, ooh, Master Chief.
Oh yeah.
And so I kind of wanted, I kind of envisioned like Master Chief holding off and firing on the ones that he didn't get to save that are infected, and the popcorn while he's trying to hold them off, while one is trying to help another one who is severely damaged, the other one kind of partially hurt.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm typing up something. I just thought about something I want to go back to real quick. Okay. I'm gonna save it for the end.
Okay.
All right. Now here's a set for you. This is definitely a signature size set, and we haven't had one in a very long. Matter of fact, we've only had one, and that is a Spirit Dropship. I think it's time for another one. It's time for another one, and I'd have 1 pilot, 1 general, 1 elite general, 2 regular elites, 2 jackals, and 5 grunts, and a partridge in a pear tree. But that one, because you think about it, and I would like for them to go back and look at Brickman 117 recently did a Spirit Dropship.
Right. That thing is huge.
Yes. And I'm not saying ours needs to be that big, but I would like it to be at least the same size as the original version that we had, with a lot of figures. And like I said, we just want to army build these things. That's part of that is part of the fun of Halo, and
Right.
that is army building. And it shouldn't be difficult for us to army build, but it traditionally has been. Okay. And you want to say something?
No, I agree. It is hard to army build, and unfortunately, the only time that I can remember that it wasn't hard was when they first started doing the fire teams. Those first 2 fire teams that they did, you could find them in the stores.
Right.
You know, you could find them in Walmart, you could find them in Kmart, you could find them at Target. You could actually find them in Kmart. Kmart was still around. Because that's where I got mine. Fire Team Venom, and you know, they were easy to find. They're in the box. Boom. From that point on, it seemed like it was hard. And I don't know if it was just that they didn't make as many, or what. They reduced the number that was in each one, and then they were just hard to find. So to put them in, and I think that's the biggest thing, is to make, anytime you're doing vehicles, I understand that it's somewhat necessary to put name characters in to help drive the purchasing. But the reality is that you need, like you said, a lot of the generic, the cannon fodder, we want to army build, because otherwise, where are you going to get them? You know, if I'm thinking something that you would do more than one of, like you went Spirit, I go Phantom.
See,
because I wasn't happy with the Phantom that they did for the Banish.
Yeah. Oh man, I agree. I didn't like it either. That was one that I bumped off the list because we only did 10. That's and the only reason I bumped it off the list is because we did have one with the Banish. I didn't like it, but we had one, and that was a hard bump for me. But
I had to put it on because I did not like that one. Just the design of it, and I understand if it looks like it did in Infinite, but I just didn't like the design of that. And I thought if they redid the one, the original, and excuse me, again, like Brickman, make it bigger.
Yep.
That was my signature set right there. To make that bigger, so it's a lot more to scale. I would love to have things to scale. I really would. That'd be great. I just don't know how practical that is. Price point wise. But then maybe that's what a signature set is supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's supposed to be something that is not just the price point like they were doing, but price point wise because it is this big. It is this, actual signature. That makes sense. I mean, I remember when people were not happy about the NMPD one with the Pelican.
Oh, yeah.
That airbase. I like it, but I get why people were mad that was supposed to be a signature series set. You just taking a Pelican, you redid a few things, not much, and then gave a landing pad. So, but if you actually made it to scale, nobody would complain. So if they're going to reboot, I think things should be closer to scale than what they did. That if you're not necessarily looking for parents to just see things on a shelf and buy it for their child, that these more, like we said, collectors. Because they started talking about it being collectors. That's what they marketed it as after a while. And let it be for collectors, and let it be the sizes and the prices that it needs to be. Because people save up, but they want it.
This is true. So we're going to move on. I'm on my number 7. And I put this on the list for the same reason that we talked about earlier. And that is a lot of people were not able to get Fireteam Raven. And part of the reason we couldn't get it is they released one figure over a period. We got one figure this year. 3 years later, we got a Hudson, and then 2 years later, we got a Lang, and so you had 4 figures that were all part of the same team. 4 characters that were all part of the same team that got released over 6 or 7 years, and that's crazy. So my number 7 was a 4-pack of a Fireteam Raven 4-pack, and each one of them had their own drop pod. And I would do it that way because you can spread it out, but I don't think they have enough name recognition anymore to carry their own, to boost the sales of another item. Unless, and I'm just going to say this quickly and we're going to move on past this point.
Okay.
When they redo the game, and I think they should do this, include a Fireteam Raven section in the rebooted game. Because for those who don't know, Fireteam Raven was actually I think it was the only arcade game that was ever done for Halo.
Mm-hmm.
And so unless you played the game, you would not know who these characters are. And again, it's Fireteam Raven. You can search for it on YouTube and find some playthroughs for it. But that's what I would do. Kind of like the ODST Alpha 9 that we never got.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you just do like that, but just do a 4-pack of Fireteam Raven. And my number 8, I'm going to say this, and we've had a lot of these. It's been, we recently had a Scorpion tank, but I think you have to do another version of the Scorpion tank for Halo CE simply because it was such a big part of the game. And because they're expanding the game to PlayStation now, you're going to get more people playing it that would be interested in it that hadn't collected these figures and sets before. That I think, even though we recently had a Scorpion tank, because you're increasing your audience size, I think you would be safe to do another one, do another tank. And I would make sure that it would be able to connect to the Pelican that we talked about earlier. And I would include 1 driver, a Master Chief, 2 grunts, and 1 jackal.
Okay, wait.
Go ahead. I know that's a lot.
Your Pelican, are you making your Pelican bigger?
I was talking dream sets. I wasn't necessarily being practical with all of these. The Pelican, I think, should come with the ability to connect to the Warthog that I talked about earlier. If they can connect, I think the Scorpion would be a second connecting. It would have pieces that you could add to it, or add to the Pelican to make it connect. But that's just But it does. If it didn't connect to the Pelican, I wouldn't be disappointed. But I think if they could do it that way, that's what I would do.
Okay, because I also said Scorpion, and I wanted 4 Marines.
Mm-hmm.
That's another way for me to get Marines in, so that I can have 2 inside, and then 1 sitting on each side of it.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
And I would love for it to be able to be carried or connect to a Pelican, but again, they'd have to butch that joker up.
Yeah, I don't know how we do it, but I'm just saying if they could without changing the appearance of the vehicle. So that I still want it to look game accurate. So if it's not going to be game accurate, don't worry about it. That's just a give me if you can. If not, no big deal. So where are you on your list now? Because I have 2 more to go in an honorable mention.
I think I have 2 left.
Okay, what are your 2?
So, like I said, I definitely would do the exact same. I'd want. We got to do, and believe it or not, there are slight differences in each one of these tanks. So even though they just did one, it's a different tank.
Right.
It's a different I mean, and not that they're huge differences, but there are differences. And people who love Halo can tell you the differences. They can look at them and say, "Oh no, that's this one. This one looks more like this," and so on and so forth. So definitely, I would. I love your idea of it being able to be attached to a Pelican.
I know.
They're definitely look. They need to, like I said in the very beginning, I would have to, starting off, change sizes on things. That Scorpion tank, I'm not saying that needs to be bigger, but the Pelican definitely has to be bigger if it's going to carry it.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to say this. Let's go back to my Pelican. The Pelican also has to. It would have to. You know, it would have to be bigger because, in my mind, you have to have seating for at least 6 figures. I mean, the pilot plus 4, maybe 6 seats in the back. And so that automatically makes it longer. And then you have to have the ramp and then space to add a Warthog.
Would you let your cockpit be so small that it only holds one?
No.
Would you widen it out so you can hold 2?
No, it has to hold 2 because in mine I have 4 hammer and a co-pilot.
Okay.
And I would say this. Okay. My 4 hammer would be. I don't think that would prevent people because you have a named character there from buying more than one, because you can just pop and swap the heads and now you have a different pilot up there. If you have 2, if you have 2 Pelicans, you wouldn't want 2 4-hammer pilots, but you can always swap her head out with a head of one of the Marines in the back, and all of a sudden you got, a different pilot and a different Marine in the back.
It's true. That is true. And that is the good thing with the pop and swap. You absolutely. I don't think it would, and I think everybody would love to have full hammer finally. Mm-hmm. I know I would. Another quick question.
Gotcha.
Would you put in electronics?
What you mean, like sounds and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And the reason I thought of that as well with my version of the Pelican, which I forgot to say, was because I was thinking about when they did that for one series of
the lights and sounds.
Mm-hmm. And I thought, and Full Hammer has those sayings.
Oh yes, that would be good.
That would be really cool to have going as you're making that Joker fly around.
That would be awesome.
So
I'm gonna say yes. I'm not saying Mattel is gonna greenlight it, but I'm gonna say we're gonna offer it to them. So, all right, what are your last 2?
Okay. My last 2, we only have one. Between the 2 of us, we only really have one. Oh, well, no, we have a couple of vehicles, but I figured we have to go with the basics. So I'm going to need a Banshee. We're going to have to redo a Banshee. And we're going to have a Ghost.
Okay.
My Ghost, I'm not putting anybody in particular on there. I'm going generically. And my Banshee, I personally would not mind sticking it because they can and they would. Well, see, I've been back and forth on should it be a different type of elite or a jackal. That's what I kept. I didn't have a jackal anywhere, but then I kept thinking, should it be an elite? Should it be a jackal? And I'm thinking, let's go with a jackal and a Banshee and a elite on the Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And that would round me out.
Okay.
They're smaller. It would be smaller sets that, again, at a price point probably around $10, maybe less. That, if you're just getting your feet wet, you just started. Even if you're, especially you talk about people who are now PlayStation people who are starting to get into it. You don't want to be spending all your money on big stuff all the time.
Right.
You have a couple of things that are smaller that you can, again, like you said, army build.
Right.
When you sit there and you see it in the game and you see 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 or whatever, then you can afford to do that if that's what you want to do, to go along with, you know, your dropship or
Right.
what have you. So I thought 2 of the small ones would be good to have up in there.
Okay. So, and that was your 9 and 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I was thinking kind of along the same ways that you were, but I did a Covenant Ghost, 1 Elite, 1 Jackal, and I did two ODSTs. And I threw the ODSTs in there because when I went back looking through my list, I had a lot of Marines, but not many ODSTs. And
So you think ODSTs are underused or underproduced or what?
I think, assuming that they're not going to change too much of the storyline,
Mm-hmm.
the ODSTs played a big role. Well, let me say this. Let me go back. If you read the book, that's the big thing. If you read the book, you know the ODSTs played a huge role in this particular, in the battle for the ring, we'll say. In the game, not so much. Outside, and actually, if I'm not mistaken, I'm kind of going back through the game right now in my head, you don't see many ODSTs in the game. And the only reason you even know about ODSTs were even on the ring is if you played Fireteam Raven and you read the book Halo the Flood. And so, yeah, that's the only reason I include those ODSTs.
Okay.
And on my number 10, I did a Falcon with a pilot, Master Chief, 1 Marine, 1 ODST. And the only reason I put the Falcon over the Banshee is because they owe us, I think Mattel needs to, I feel they owe us a good release of a Falcon. Because, you know, we haven't had one in a long time. Well, let me take that back. They gave us one, what was it set called? They gave us all of Noble Team, and they just completely botched the release of that. I mean, what was the name of that set, first of all? Anyway, if you're a fan, you know what set we're talking about.
Yeah, I just drew a blank too now.
But as a fan base and collectors, we have been crying and begging for a Falcon and a complete Noble Team for years. And I don't know what happened, but I think the company missed out on a golden egg because they did not produce enough of those sets. And I feel that, and I'm not one to say they owe us.
Falcon Sweep.
Yeah, Falcon Sweep, that was it. But I feel they owe us. I mean, strictly for, and if you take my feelings out of it, okay, and you look at it from a business point,
right,
it's going to make a lot of money, and they should go.
Oh yeah,
you know, but that's how I feel. Okay,
no doubt. But the question then is, are you saying? I get it, so that you have Falcons that fit the new articulation figures and everything. I don't know how well that's gonna. I mean, it's a nice makeup, but it's not a great one because
you don't get.
Still, most of those people are not getting.
You're not getting Noble Team.
The Noble Team.
Yeah, but like I said, it's the option, and that's with the landing pad. I meant to say.
Oh, okay.
And I said the landing pad because you could put the landing pad and make it part of your base. You know, and I said a couple of honorable mentions, but the only one that I really, really want to talk about is, you remember during Halo Infinite, they released that model ship, the buildable ship that came with Commander Keys.
Right.
And it's funny. This is why you should take notes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why you should take notes and have your notes available, because it's the Forward Unto Dawn, and it's Commander Keys, and I keep wanting to call her Alicia Keys. But Miranda Keys, that's her name. Ooh, that was
Alicia Keys, and she plays on the ship.
Yeah, but I would do a UNSC Autumn. I mean, Forward Unto Dawn. I mean, oh my goodness. I got myself confused. Yeah, an Autumn, kind of the scale like that.
Okay. Yeah. And a figure that would come with it, or no?
Oh, you have to be. If you only had one figure, it would have to be Captain Keys. Okay. If you have multiple figures, depending on how many you want to go, you could do Keys, Johnson, Master Chief, and a couple of techs.
Yeah, because, Keys actually, the heroes, now the price on that is starting to move up.
Right.
Which I'm actually surprised, because when it came out, nobody picked them up. I'm not going to say nobody, but basically speaking, everywhere.
That was the one that was left over, yeah.
It wasn't as bad as Dr. Halsey.
Mm-hmm.
You made one Dr. Halsey, and she was always there.
Right. But you know why? Go ahead.
It seemed like Keys and Lasky, they just let them sit. They let those sit for a long time. So.
And I understand why Dr. Halsey sat for a long time. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you play the game, do you know Halsey does not make an appearance in Halo until Reach?
Right.
So no one knew. I mean, and even then, we see her. We know that she, is a line or two tells us that she created the Spartans, but that's it. And unless you read the books, or you read something, or you're a Halo fan outside of just the games, most people wouldn't know who she was. And
that's true.
And I think that's one reason that figure didn't sell. And the same thing with Keys. I mean, if you think about it, Keys doesn't play a big part in the game. It's only if you read the book that you know how important he was.
He's more lore than anything.
Right, exactly. And I think that's what hurt to sell those figures. But you said this when you were talking about heroes, and my mind clicked. And we didn't talk about this. I didn't say anything about it. And neither one of us put a Halo Heroes section on our list.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I'm putting you on the spot, you're going to do with the original Halo Heroes came with how many figures? 6 or 5?
6.
6, okay. So what 6 characters would you put in a Halo Heroes section? And this is kind of one I know I'm putting you on the spot here. And I haven't had much time to work on this list either, because I just started on it while we were talking.
Wow. And the problem is for CE, wow. See, and if we're looking at what we just got through saying for sets or what have you, I've already tried to put name characters into sets, so you wouldn't be able to put them in, and because I can't stand to have somebody in a set and then be a heroes as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you what I did. I came up with 4 that, I'll give you my 4 of the 6 that I came up with. You're going to have a Master Chief regardless. And you know that they're going to do a Halo Heroes. If they do I don't think they ever released a Halo Heroes series that didn't have a Master Chief in it.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them's going to be him. I would say Keys, because that way, if you wanted the Keys, you could get a Captain Keys, if you didn't want to ship, because in my mind, that UNSC Autumn is going to be kind of a pricey set. I don't know. If you keep it to scale.
Well, I mean, the one that they did with Miranda was $60.
Yes, and the Autumn is bigger than the Ford Underdone.
Mm-hmm.
Much bigger. My third one was Johnson, and I did a fourth one was Cortana.
Then after that, I guess you could just do 2 generics because they love to do generics.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
So
yeah.
See, I was thinking more of as a.
Oh, I know who they could do. Go ahead.
Honorary blind bags.
I did not. I like the idea of blind bags, but I don't like the idea of blind bags. I think it's a cool concept for younger people, but as a collector, I'm not really interested in blind bags because I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to figure out what figures I'm going to get the ones I get and going to move on.
Well, I figured with blind bags, and especially if you're talking about bringing in a brand new audience. That, and true. Again, if we're trying to help them army build, if you have Marines and blind bags, and if they're going to do the same thing with the numbers, then I do personally. My blind bag series is very simple: 3 different Marines, 3 different skin types.
Okay. Oh, okay. I got you.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then I'm going grunts, jackals, and elites.
There you go.
Ta-da!
Okay,
and that's my blind bag series.
Okay, so what are you going to make your rare?
I pick one of the skin types.
Okay, fair enough.
On the Marine.
Okay, there you go.
And that would be I figured though people want Marines. You could have thrown an ODST in there instead or what have you, but I figured you got plenty of time to do the ODSTs, and you could do them anytime because people are always going to want them.
True that. Okay, man. We're an hour into this already.
Wow.
And to think I was going to have a third person join us. That would not have been a good idea.
And 2 hours later.
Yeah. Okay. So, look, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to thank you all for joining us on this episode of the Janice Key Project podcast. Hope you will come back again and listen to more of these lists. I got 2 lists already waiting for you, Daryl. I'm excited about what we got coming up. But hey, in the comments below, let us know what sets and figures you would put in if this was you and you could make the decisions, what figures and what sets would you do? All right. So again, guys, I appreciate you stopping by. Please like and share this video with other people, and we'll see you again soon. Out.
All right.
Spartans.
Take care.
Attention. Dismissed.
All right.